And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. What a dear pleasure it is to have you here again on another conscious evolution. Another opportunity for us to consider the energy in our lives. I think it's a pretty interesting topic. We don't always feel like we have the same amount of energy. I know that I feel like I have low energy today, even though I slept relatively well. I didn't sleep well the night before. And this day is what I consider my sleep debt. My sleep debt day, where I have to pay back the fact that I didn't sleep properly. I'm going to play some kalimba. Fill the space with some sounds. Super good! You're the man, Stelia. Hello, my super student. Welcome. Welcome to this super seminar where we're gonna super learn how to super be kind to our super selves. Yeah. Yeah, going to give ourselves grace when we feel like we have low energy. Nice, that's super. Yeah, exactly. Superly. So, you ever heard this instrument make sounds? You've seen it probably in my background, but you have not heard what it can do. Yeah, yeah. Uh, uh. There we go. No, but I want to. It makes like a. Sayok. Hey, Dimpleman. So glad to see you today. Lots of love. By the way, why is your hair a mess today? Because I didn't do anything to it. I woke up like this. Just done being waking up like this. Boom. Boom. Now it's a bit of a more mindful mess. Boom. You happy now? Happy now, Sayok. Okay. That's the way it be, dude. Here. The noise floor is just raised. When the AC turned on again. Yeah, it's true what Sam says. The engine decided to render Mel's hair in more detail. Each of my hair strands suddenly has been added 5% more processing power to, right? Instead of collapsing them into like big, long, what looks like thick hairs and curls, now all of them are individuated. But it's true what Sam says. As a result of this extra detail up here, as a consequence, I have lost detail in the legs. Now I'm just wearing normal people pants, as we call them. Oh, you're wearing your normal people pants again today, John. That's how you use it in a sentence. Yep. Yep. I do need more fancy pants. I'll get myself some. I'll probably have to buy them from Temu or something. I wish I could reach out to some of my Indian friends. Wish some of them knew where I got my old pants from. Because I'm sure the pricing differential would also be vastly different if I could just get it straight from India sent to me. However, for now, I have pants on my body. Who needs more? Who needs more when I have at least one? Right? I guess I could also wash my clothing every single day. That's an option. That is an option. The energy we have in our lives. Everything affects our energy. How much we slept, what we ate, what we were doing yesterday. The clothing we wear, I think, can add or break some of your energy. Your hair. Whether or not you want to do anything to your hair. Energy is the fundamental building block of our reality. Right? Apparently. It's all energy and waves if you go down deep enough. And that energy comes in waves. Right? At least that seems to be the case for our human experience. We ebb and we flow. I do like my energy stable. And I think just getting really good at having a sleep schedule has definitely been something that's allowed me more stable energy. And it is something that we're decimating a little bit this week. We're going to go and watch the meteor shower that's happening tomorrow? The 13th? I think it's in the morning hours. So I'm not going to get any sleep on that night, probably. And that's going to be okay. Colette is here with us. Rich, where are you from? I'm from the internet. That's where you found me after all, isn't it, Rich? Welcome to the internet. Hey, bro, how are you? I'm doing well, Crystal. Lekker. Doing good. I'm feeling pretty chill. I'm feeling a little bit over chill, though. I feel like I'm very unmotivated. Like my energy is lacking. I didn't supplement any vitamins yesterday. I don't think that's the problem. I did eat late. I ate late. We had some popcorn and watermelon because we were watching Akira last night. We only watched the first half of Akira, but it was a lot. It was a lot. Right. I don't know if it stayed with me. I dreamt a bunch as well last night. I think that's the thing about energy. Is that there's so many different ways that it's influenced. What do you do? I'm a certified yoga teacher, Rich. I am a live streamer in this way. I make art occasionally, right? Sometimes 3D stuff out of clay. More of my art has been made as two-dimensional mandalas, kind of like flowers. Do I have some of my art clothes? Yeah, I do. That's mine. I'll do stuff like that. I made that one too, but that one wasn't intentional. I took another flower and cut into it. I owned a business in South Africa before I came here that specializes in visuals for festivals. So I build visuals, and then I know how to run the software to enable that visuals, and then I know how to install the equipment at the festivals to be able to actually display the visuals. Video walls, video processors, and then projectors. That's the stuff that I do. What do you understand by yoga? And why do you like yoga? That's the one you find the most fascinating. What I understand about yoga after about 5-ish, more like 4 consecutive years of practicing it every day, right? I've missed maybe like 10-ish days out of the last 4 years, but it's been pretty much consecutive. I have learned that yoga tells me a lot about where it is I am in my own body. Like, for example, this morning, after I finished my practice, I said to my wife that I felt like I was stiff, like I was a little bit stuck in my body. I was still doing my practice, I was still going through all of the motions. However, my body felt like it was not all the way there, right? And that allows me a certain awareness, a certain mindfulness that I then get to take into my other practices as well, right? Just living life in general. But also, if I want to go back onto my mat, I'm going to focus on the parts of myself that I have seen need the extra help, right? And that's what I understand about yoga and what I like yoga for, right? Yoga is a means to connect with yourself. Yoga literally means to unite with yourself, right? To become whole in your own oneness. And then with that, you grow a little bit more mindful. Mindful of your own body, mindful of your wrists, mindful of your neck, tensions you might be holding there, mindful of your back, mindful of your legs, your hamstrings, right? You have so many connective tissues in your body that can get shortened, stiff, right? And working on that is the best medicine we can give ourselves, I think. Indigo is here too. Hello, Indigo. Pretty bad. Have the birds in your hair hatched yet? No, plasma zombie. Mama bird and egg birdies are still very much intact. All right, it's gonna be a couple of days more before they hatch. I'm now imagining hummingbirds nesting in my hair, and it makes me so happy. It makes me so like giddy to imagine. Hummingbird eggs are probably the size of pebbles. Hey, Matthew Shift, one of my biggest fans, is here with us. Hello, Matthew. I know you love this space. Tell us about how much you love it. Let us know. All right. If Matthew says anything that's not loving, he actually means the opposite. He just doesn't know how to say it just yet. He's still learning. He's still learning. Hummingbird eggs? I want to see how big they are. Oh my goodness. That's exactly how small I thought they would be. Oh, so cute. So, oh look. Look at a hummingbird eggs. I can totally have a hummingbird nest up in there. I can totally. Look at that. Look at how small those eggums are. Good morning to you, Ted. It's nice having you here too, friend. I hope that this day finds you well. Yeah. Yeah. Little hummingbird eggs. They're so tiny. You can fit 2 hummingbird eggs on a quarter. I don't know if this one is real. Is this real? It's not very high resolution. And the fact that there are other photos that are very similar makes me both sussy as well. Still kind of cute. Look like little pearls. I love hummingbirds. Like, a lot. Oh my goodness. You want to see hummingbird babies? I don't know if these are real. I'm like so sus about this. Okay, maybe they're real. Hummingbird babies with their hummingbird long faces. Oh my goodness. That's too cute. Look at those hummingbird babies. Another way to relax. Get an aquarium. That's not a bad idea, Ted. That's not a bad idea. We had an aquarium as a child. But then we went on vacation. And South Africa, we don't have very reliable energy. And I'm pretty sure that our tech was old. And once it turns off, you have to turn it back on again. And then we had some sort of power outage or something. And our fish suffocated. The pump, the bubbler was no longer bubbling. My molly fish had babies. That sounds so cute. Having a bunch of babies in your tank, that must be the cutest thing ever. A molly fish. Aw, look at the molly fish. Them's be molly fishes. What color is yours? Having little babies. Molly fish babies. Let me see what they look like. Molly fish babies. Aw, they're ugly. I think baby fish are ugly. Baby fish look like they're pretending to be fish, but they're actually little skinwalkers. Yes, orange black. Nice. Those orange black. Those are little orange black babies as well. Do they look like that? It's pretty neat. Yeah, I liked having fish as a child. I remember going to the fish shop with my dad and getting to pick a fish, but then us having to ask the fish man, give him a list of our other fishes that we have in our tank, and then ask him if it's okay to add this fish that I want to that tank. Because sometimes they would try and eat one another. That was also a part of it. Pretty scary. You be a hummingbird dad. I'd be a hummingbird dad, dude. Imagine how cute that would be. Right? I do like seriously, there's a hummingbird I've named Dash that comes and says hi to me. I'm waiting for him to come and say hi to me. I'm worried that he's not going to because I put a hummingbird feeder up for him out of my field of view. But I would like for him to come and say hi. It's really cute. Yesterday when I went all the way up to the window, I closed the windows in midday because the sun shines right into our house and it makes our AC have to work harder. So I go and close the shades, and as I go to close them, and I'm like this far away from the glass, comes this hummingbird flying right in front of me. I felt like he was looking at me. I'm probably anthropomorphizing, but I felt like he was looking right at me, like he wanted to come and say hi. And then instead of closing the shades, I sat there and watched. He didn't use my feeder, but still, that was so cute. I love them a lot. So yeah, having hummingbirds in my hair would be definitely something I could do. If I wouldn't like just make them fall out by shaking my head, I would give my hair for hummingbirds. I would. Teeny eggs like that would be good. I don't think they would. That's the problem, Sam. I don't think tiny eggs would be good. Right? It's like, would you want an apple that's this big, or would you want an apple that's this big? If you bought a watermelon and the watermelon is this big, all right, and then by the time you have cut all of the rind off, you got watermelon the size of that, right? Oh well, watermelon, right? That's kind of my fractal. Ostrich egg is not that tasty. However, it is like I think 2 dozen per egg. All right, so that's like the other end of the extreme. I think chicken eggs work. I've had quail eggs, I think, once, and even that was small. You have to have like 6 at least for it to look like there's any egg in your plate. Midget babies, bless. Hello, peeps. Hello, Nancy. Magical hummingbirds. No, no. But tiny eggs. I mean, I guess I would literally not be your friend anymore. Like, the part of me wants to not be your friend, and you even talking about it, Sam. Like, someone eating hummingbird eggs. Unless you're actually starving. Unless, even if you're starving. You know what? Even if you're starving, I'd still judge you. I'd still judge you. There will be mega judge. Super judge from me eating fucking hummingbird eggs. Good morning, guys. Off topic. I tried to get on Discord and it won't let me. I had an account a while ago. I got a new phone. It won't let me in. Cycles between verify and human. It's so freaking frustrating. That is frustrating, Prairie. Maybe creating a new account could be in the cards. I wish I could be there to help you directly. Like having something that should be simple, right? Like I'm trying to download an app and I'm trying to log in to the app. All right, it's not rocket science. You don't have to overcomplicate it, but yeah, the 2-factor verification and stuff like that can't make it a little bit skizzy, right? Like Steam, for example. I've not been able to get my Steam account back for like the last year. I'm almost like believing that it's gone, right? And I did pay for a bunch of games on there. Maybe that's their plan. Maybe they're trying to make it hard so people do end up recreating accounts so they can sell them the same games all over again. I had like Portal and stuff on that account. Not easy getting around on our computers. Yeah. So many layers at this point. BSF is here too. Hey, BSF. So I'm asking my daughter later to help me, and that pisses me off that I need help with tech. I hate it. Other than that, greetings to you all. Greetings, Prairie Wolf. Thank you for sharing with us some of your frustrations so that you can feel heard and seen. We look forward to you being able to connect properly. Did you try using Claude to help you? The language models could help. They could help. Right. Anthropic's Claude. There's a bunch of them. But yeah, it is still frustrating for it to not be intuitive. Who the fuck is a Claude? Claude is Anthropic's language model. There's Claude, and there's Gemini, and there's ChatGPT, and there's Kimio 3, and those are the important ones. Right? Those are the ones basically competing with one another. I think Llama, Facebook's model is called Llama. I think that's the worst one right now. There's Grok as well, of course. Silly of me to forget. All of them do the same thing, essentially, right? And they could potentially help. But I'm imagining that if you have a new phone, as long as you have a Google account linked to that phone, you should be able to get back into Discord, or at least create a Discord account through your Google account for the first time or something. I know that they do allow you to log in directly through email and stuff, though, so that might be something you did before. As for help, I wish I could help you, Prairie. Me too. Right? Something as simple as just having phone in hand. Right? If you could just sit here next to me, I could like quickly hook you up. I hear you on the hummingbird eggs. It was a question. You know, I have ethical constraints against eating octopus and dolphins because they're too intelligent. I'm not completely depraved. Yeah. I don't know if the hummingbirds are intelligent. They're just so cute. There he goes. There Dash is. I saw him. I saw him. I saw Dash. Bless me. Just as I was talking about him, I got to see some Dash. Man, that sneeze did not feel good. I feel like there's like this low hum pressure in my brain. I slept enough, relatively speaking. I'm pretty sure I had enough water. Why am I feeling the way I am? Hmm. Yes, there might be reasons. Reasons I do not want to divulge. But it is what it is. No more to be present right now. Claude sounds like a hot Quebec Coast guy. Claude. Yeah, ask Claude to help you, Prairie. And then you're like, okay, I'll ask Claude. And then you use the language model. And then somebody knocks on your door and he goes, I'm Claude. I was sent to help. Right. And then after he helps you, like Mr. Meeseeks, he just plops out of existence out of nowhere. I worked with a woman from Paris whose name was Claude. I can see Claude being a feminine name as well. We're not talking about eggs and birds anymore. God bless you. Thank you. Can't help picturing tiny fried eggs with tiny slices of bacon. Well, on the side of little side, of course, of toast, like little pieces of toast like that. On a little plate, I wanted to boil them jammy and melt got squigged out because there's a line somewhere between acceptable and unacceptable. Hi, I'm Mr. Me6. Yeah, Indigo knows what I'm talking about. Yeah, it's too close. I like them, right? Like I can almost, in my mind, tolerate eating octopus and a dolphin. I wouldn't, of course. All right, but it's the cute factor because dolphins and octopuses they could technically kill me. All right, they could. Right, if I had to one-on-one in the ocean, right, suddenly I am deemed a threat. Right, octopus could up in my face, right, pull my mask off of me, kind of stuff. Right, and then I could justify in my mind, right, slaying this opponent and then eating his flesh to gain his power. Of course, right? Say for dolphins, right? Maybe I can gain their intelligence. Like I'm not gonna do that. This is like an imaginations we're going through right now. However, hummingbirds. What is a hummingbird gonna do to me? Poke my eye? Oh, maybe, right? But they're so cute. Like the way they just like float in the air. I got to see Dash. I got to see Dash. He didn't come and say hi directly to me. He was like a little bit far out, but I think that might be my favorite bird. Right? I don't think there's any bird that I love more than hummingbirds. And I don't even know why. I think it's because I've seen footage of them flying in slow motion. And it's incredible. It's like literally brain breaking. They exist on a time plane of existence that we can't even fathom. Right. Yes. I, I look here. I look there. Mhm. I drank a little bit of this. Mhm. It's just so controlled. So cool. Sup, my main unsuccessful cult leader? Hey, running man, what's up? I'm not a cult leader, right? So, by your definition, in that way, maybe that makes me an unsuccessful one. But if I was trying to be a cult leader, there would be a bunch of different things that I would do. For one, I would pose myself as some sort of Christian leader, right? Because that's the best way to start a cult, right? And I am very much specifically anti, going down that road. So I'm definitely like failing in multiple ways, right? There's definitely easier ways to do that. I would also be trying to convince my followers that I have, if not Christian, right, some sort of knowledge that they have no access to, that I have some sort of connection to God that those poor plebeians could never imagine, right? However, I also don't do that. One of my teachings, if we're going to say it in that way, anyways, is that every single one of you are capable of every single thing, that there's nothing that I have that you don't have, right? And that's a big other no-no for what cult leaders usually do. And then there's probably a third in there somewhere. What would that third be? Oh yeah, a willingness to admit myself faulty. Right. Today specifically, I'm talking about how my energy levels do not seem to be quite there. I feel very unmotivated. All right. I don't imagine anybody would feel very inspired by a cult leader who's willing to admit his own faults. All right. So boom, Cobra chickens. Met any yet? I've met a fair pair, a bit of Cobra chickens. Them gooses, them gazais. For the record, baby deer are also cute, but we hunt them for meat. Yeah, they're not flying though, and this big, and have like sharpy little faces, and have cute little, cute little neck feathers that glisten in the sun. Nope, sure feels like it, Red. Does our hearts really stop when we sneeze? Feels like it sometimes. Stop, my main. Love is true. I think a core part of being a cult leader is possessing both the acumen and the willpower to manipulate people into doing things they wouldn't normally do. Melt lacks the thirst required for that. Yes, it's true what Sam says. I am not motivated enough to be a cult leader, right? Because again, accumulation of more power and of more wealth is just not something that gets me going in the morning, right? I'm not rubbing my dirty little hands together in excitement. Another day to make a monies, to manipulate some people. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, where you going? Where you going? Whoa, woo. I'm gonna have to tighten you up. You're too loosey goosey. Ugh. There we go. Sorry for holding you like a little child. My tripod needs to be holding you. Bop, badap, bop, bow. Better. Sweet. Yeah. Very, very apt, actually. That's a great point to make. I like that, Sam. It's like, I don't have the motivation, bro, to be your cult leader, right? I would get exhausted, too. I think that's the biggest thing. I would get so exhausted. My cult followers always telling me about their problems. Uh, constantly squabbling amongst each other. Everybody vying for my attention, wanting to be the best cult leader, a cult follower, and me having to mitigate, right, the favoritism. Oh my goodness, like it fucking makes me exhausted just thinking about it. No, just short for culture. Me thinks. Ooh, feet pics? You suddenly got feet. It also requires a degree of moral absence, I believe, and he's too self-correcting to wander that far, of course. It's kind of you to say these things. Thank you, Sam. Yeah. The first one is true. Manipulating people, right? If I was going to manipulate you, that's the other thing as well. I would try and manipulate you into taking better care of yourself, right? But if I was gonna connive and like think, how can I get you to do what I want you to do, right? The thing that I would want you to do is take better care of yourself, legitimately. I made a new friend recently, and that's what I'm conniving in my head about. I'm like, I like this friend. How can I convince him to take better care of himself? He's not sleeping well. He's like not sleeping well at all. He's going to bed regularly at like 3 a.m. in the mornings. Right? So like that's literally, and I'm not going to try and manipulate him into doing it. I am trying to think about how can I make it apparent to him that he does in fact want to take good care of his health. Right? Like that's literally what I'm thinking about. So in that way, I don't think I'm capable of manipulating anybody for my own benefit either. And then the self-correcting thing is, I think, a good point, Sam. Right? Like I think that's kind of why I found myself at this point in that journey as well. It's like the only thing that I can correctly do for you is help you take care of yourself. You want to see something? Oh, look at this entity. Like, this is his existence. He just exists. Must be nice. I get it, dude. I'm trying to reach that level of ideal. Inspiring. Truly inspiring. Mm-mm-mm-mm. I'm running away. You can't catch me. That means feet. I saw pilgrims sailing them across the ocean. The very best, like no one ever was. Okay, but when do we start our hippie commune? Can we head west? I can't take much more of this humidity. Mojo, still happening. I don't know if you know Mojo, but yesterday, the first 30 minutes of the stream, I read that Zen reading of a Bible saying, or a Zen perspective on a Bible saying. I read it to our community. I gave you honor in sharing that with us. It felt like something that I had to talk about. Thank you for the stars. Oh, Luca is like, you're gonna get stars. 7 stars, 8 stars, 9 stars, 10 stars, 11 stars even. Why not 11 stars? Why not? There's 11 likes, there's 11 people watching, and there's 11 stars. That sounds like some synchronicities to me. 11, 11, 11. Someone else just joined. You leave right now so we can be only 11 people in this. Or you should upvote so that it's 12, 12. Right? And then you have to send another star. Again, 15 people. Everybody upvote quickly. Quickly. Upvote right now so that we can get our upvotes to our number of people watching. Right? And then somebody starts donating stars so we can get the amount of stars. I need to stop. I'm letting it on thick, and I am gonna stop. Humidity, Mojo. We should go to South Africa. That's still my end goal, right? Make a living within the next like 7-ish years, right? By the time I'm 35, I think it's gonna be time to, reevaluate, right? But 35 is still a while away. And then by 35, right, that's like 6, 7-ish years for you friends as well. Then we can like talk again. I'm still going to be here and we can discuss. Maybe we should go to South Africa. Maybe South Africa is the place to be, all right? Low humidity, at least in the place that I have space. Food is relatively cheap. The cost of living is way more accessible. I'm only doing it once the robots are here though. And I'm pretty sure 7 years from now, there's going to be robots everywhere. I'm going to be able to buy robots by the pallet, right? Buy a whole freaking shipping container full of robots, right? Put them to work, have them grow food, have them landscape, have them keep the roads clear, have them maintaining our buildings, have them mine is a very specific niche, but carry rocks. Mine is going to be carrying rocks and then putting those rocks in places so that there is level surfaces for people to sit on. Yep, that's going to happen. I'm going to get so many robots. And then once I run out of work for them to do, maybe I'll sell like half and then keep the other half for maintenance and gardening and stuff. All right. Yeah. So many robots. I see them. I can see them. I'm gonna name each and every one of them. Everyone is gonna have a name, right? I'll be nice to my robots. The kindest robot owner ever. I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Pokemon got them. What's happening, Indigo? Joe is also a Pokemon fan. We talked about anime yesterday a little bit, and Pokemon, and did you say Digimon as well? Yu-Gi-Oh! That's the other one. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is some of the animes that she watched. I never actually watched too much of the Pokemon anime. It's very nice of you to say these things. It's almost like I'm more than my bizarre momentary cravings. I told you about that one time in yoga teacher training, right? I can't control that shit when it happens. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Did I have a moment like that recently? Huh. Yeah, I get it. I get it. Right, my moments like that, Sam, looks like me eating 2 pounds of watermelon in a single sitting, right? To the point where I feel like I'm gonna pop, or my body is like, "Ugh, ugh," and I will still be like, give me more watermelon. That's mine. That's my intrusive my intrusive experience. Oh, Noodle. What is the little fluffy child's name? Isn't Noodle? He beat Noodle, right? He's basically like furniture, essentially. He's like furniture that eats and poops, right? But that's literally what he is. Like you would, or a pillow. You would like literally mistake him for a pillow on our couches at some points, right? He'll just like stay still for a while, and then he eats, and then he poops. He likes that. He does that all the time. You know, he's very good at it. He's not good at much more than that, unfortunately, but he's good at that part. Pedro is here saying, Buenos dias, a todos, MeltMore, loving the fluffy hair, while I hear you at the dentist. I hope that you get your work done and that it's painless, dear friend. Sending you love. I suggest a cave complex here in Missouri. Heat resistant, legal weed adjacent, lots of lakes, and shit to party at. That does sound pretty nice. I am pro caves. However, we will have to understand that those caves would not get flooded, because that is a big caveat, right? There's a lot of caves here in Indiana as well, but if the rain, rainiest, if there's floods, right, your cave, your cool place can get very not cool anymore, right? You might wake up swimming. My puppy is also sleeping, just getting some rest. Oh, it's Filiados, 100%. Bless you again. I'm in. Flower volunteer. I'm in. I volunteer for gardening and food growing. There we go. One of our robots have been acquired. I will name her Prairie Wolf. Yes. This robot also, has like depths, kindness in its heart. Love is true. Now I feel like I'm going too far. Now we're back on the cult train. Thank you, Prairie. 12 out of 12. After this job hunting. Damn, I feel old. I'm 36. I am on my way to 36, bro. That's not old. I do believe that this round of humanity is going to exist for ridiculously long. So 36 is like the new 3.5. Oh, you're going to live to 1,000. That's my belief, Pedro. We're going to live to 1,000, dude. I'm not going to stop until I'm 1,000 years old. Maybe I'll stop once I'm 1,000. Right. Turn 1,000 and then I'll finally sit down. Time for me to relax. Staring over, ideally, mountains. Yup. I'm gonna relax so hard when I'm 1,000. But until that day comes, no relax for me. After this job hunting, I feel old, and I'm only 36. Pedro, maybe that makes more sense of what you're actually saying. I'm also 36, Pedro. Feels like a fucking million years after everything that went down since I graduated high school, though, right? I'm older than 36 and also tired. Love, I feel you. I'm happy things weren't at my favorite until now. I feel more in control, and I'm energized. I feel a little bit more energized as well at this point. I love rocks. Beyblade. Billy Bob. I want to be the best cult follower. Well, you better start doing all the things I like taking care of yourself. Like, seriously. Seriously? Like, think about this, right? If I was a cult leader, and I have established what I would want to manipulate you into, taking good care of yourself. You taking so good care of yourself that I never have to take care of you, right? That would be me, the happiest cult leader that I could be, right? Boom. Boom. It makes perfect sense. Yes. Right. And in fact, if you take so good care of yourself, you wouldn't need me, right, to lead you. And then I wouldn't have any followers, which would make me the doublest happiest of cult leaders, because taking care of people can be exhausting. Not that I wouldn't want to, of course, right? I do believe that this is a kind of taking care of one another, after all. However, once you have made yourself the leader of a cult, right, there's no escaping. There's no escaping. Now you're kind of like locked in, right? You have now gotten these people to isolate themselves from their friends and family. They have no other support network other than you. That's also a part of cult leading that I think is terrifying, right? Isolating people from their friends and family, believing yourself to be enough person to replace a person's entire support system. I'm not as delusional. That's one thing that I give myself credit for as well. Pedro, wait till your kids turn into teenage dirtbags and parents' age and an oppressive mortgage. Lol, that can definitely help. Mm-mm-mm. Hi to you, Galaxy Thompson. It's nice having you here. Yes, more watermelon. Yes, the synchronicity between the article and Melt's Gospel is crazy. Must be those decades of Zen training you and the author both had. Don't you start with me. I haven't had decades of Zen training. All of my Zen training in that way came from Alan Watts. I did listen to probably about 40 hours of his work, right? And like he was definitely the biggest impact on my Zen way of thinking. But the fact that we came to those natural conclusions, Mojo, that's what I started yesterday with, or at least at the end of it, is I talked about how we as a community have talked about that, right, to a T, right? The I am, the pure quintessential beingness that all of us are. Getting out of our ego and melting into the we go, as we say, right? Realizing that there is truly no separation and that if you can lean into that beingness, that I am, that you are, right? You are forever abundant, right? There's nothing that can be taken from you because you have it. You have exactly that. You have it. It's yours, right? And that is what I believe, Mojo. And it's awesome to me that you have found this space. It's beautiful to me that you have found yourself resonating with that message. And it's an honor that you have sent that article and thinking about me. What article, Mojo? We read it yesterday, Blue Sail Mercury. If you're really curious, I read the whole of it just yesterday in stream. All right. Click on yesterday's stream, skip like 3 minutes into it because I spent some time waiting for you, friends, and then you'll see me reading something. All right. Do listen in. It's beautiful. Watch yesterday's stream, Blue. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't want to live to 1,000 with all of the shit. I'll do the 60 to 80 years. Well, that's too bad, Indigo. That's part of being in my cult, I'll say, right? Everybody lives to 1,000, right? Kicking and screaming, even, right? We have immortality serum, right? You'll be decrepit and dying on your bed as an 80-year-old. And then suddenly one of our members busts in, injects you in your leg, all right? The youthfulness ooh, rushing over your body, your hair suddenly going reverse gray, your eyesight suddenly becoming clear, your senses suddenly pristine again, all right? And then you curse the sky. No, I didn't want to be healthy and happy and full of energy, excited for the future. I'm gonna still have to do this for 920 more years. Yes, Indigo. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We're living for 1,000 years. Right. Not gonna stop until the 1,000 gets hit. All right. And then we can all party. We can all have like once everybody turns 1,000. Right. It might take a little bit longer for you. I'll be 1,009 or something. All right. And then we'll have 1,000-year-old people party. We'll do it. Right. It's gonna be the best. It's gonna be the best. There's gonna be disco, and there's gonna be grilling fish or something. I don't know. I don't know what we'll eat at that point. Probably some sort of protein synthesized in vats, made into delicious confectionaries or something. I don't know. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to finding out. It's going to be an interesting experience, And we can only find out by living to 1,000. That's the only way to know. And bet your ass I want to know. want to know it all. I want to know at least what the next 1,000 years holds for humanity. Nudging it in my own ways where I can. I'm making a mini mala right now. That's cute. That's the arts and crafts. Please. Yes, I am pleased. I am greatly pleased. Are you having fun? Does this bring you soul satisfaction? Yeah, pleased. I'm very pleased. This pleases me. Yes. This is too much. I don't want to be a cult leader. GBs. Like I'm getting intimidated just like even saying the words. I'm like, oh wow. Oh, oh. I think we definitely have, as a society, been fear mongered. You know, like a lot of the cult leaders are usually kind of yikes for bikes. One of the biggest one is just like isolation, right? Is the willingness to isolate people. That's one that I like staunchly stand against. And one of the other ones is trying to convince them that you have some sort of power they don't, and that's why you have to be their leader. I don't have that hubris. Like I know for a fact. I know that I have good batting average. That I'm right, probably maybe 70% of the time. Right, that's like a pretty big gap where I'm like not right 30% of the time. Right, and that maybe means that I can get like 20% of the right choice, right? It's not a flip of a coin at the very least. However, right, depending on whatever you're going through, the decisions will be different. And I can't know. I don't have the full infinity that is your life experience to make a decision for you. And then what's the last one? Uh, Manipulation into giving me your resources, right? It's like, what am I going to do with more resources right now? I do have plans for what I can do with more resources, right? I'm going to build spaces. I'm going to eventually buy robots. I'm going to build a little ecosystem where all of the food we need, at least for the space that I've built, can be provided for by the space that it's in, right? We have groundwater on the farm, so that's possible as well. However, that's still like far out, still far out. And I'm pretty sure that I'll be able to earn all of the money that I need to do that by myself, right? So the person that I need to manipulate into getting there is myself first. And I can barely do that. I can barely motivate myself sometimes to, bash my head against the metaphorical matrix, but still there is hope. Still there is potential. I do believe that there is more hope in a collaborative experience, right? Everybody being so on the same page that they know that this is, in fact, what they want, right? Then it becomes a little bit easier to put resources towards something. However, it's not that simple, right? Because again, everybody has their own motives, everybody has their own goals, everybody is on their same page, on their own page of what it is they want for the next part of their lives. Most people just want to be comfortable, right? And having a bunch of money saved makes people comfortable, makes them feel like they got a little cushion to lay back on. I'm just an old teenage dirtbag, baby. Mojo, after Meld read what you have shared with him, I now believe Moses had a Satori experience and thought God was talking to him, thereby changing the trajectory of two major religions. That is pretty hardcore, right? I believe that the burning bush is an analogy for something, for a divine moment of thought. He had a divine moment of thought, right? And it changed him. He was like, wait a second, I'm not who I think I am. I'm actually more than what I can imagine. It's like, yeah, actually I am. And then he was like, wait a second, if I am, and I am more than just this, and I understand that there is this need in my people, then I am the one who needs to do the thing because I know. I'm actually one of the ones that know. I'm one of the ones that got to break out of the cyclical cycle of who I thought I was. Now I need to be who I'm supposed to be. I am de-stressing before I go to urgent care for possibly draining pus from my arm from a bad bug bite, even though I really don't want to go. Indigo. Oh, bugs. Friggin' bugs. I hate them. Especially the ones that bite, right? Like I love praying mantises, praying manti. I love them like a lot, like so much. I love them so much. Because they don't bite, right? They don't bite you. Insects that want to bite your flesh, I wish they would explode as soon as they touch me. My mind could change again, though. It always does. Good luck. Hope you're well. You finally noticed me. You've been noticed, Blue Sailor Mercury. I'm looking. I'm noticing you more. Lord Commander, please send me this drug immediately so I can heal my body. CJ Ando, I don't know what your hurt is like, right? But they will exist. Just the amount of progress our species is going to make in peptides over the next 10 years, right? There's peptides that could probably help you right now. I'm not a doctor, and I wouldn't suggest you use them because they're basically research chemicals today still, right? They did get passed recently, so they can be compounded, which is good. Means that we can at least have clean access to these compounds locally. However, check it out, right? Go and learn about peptides, CJ. Be like, what is a peptides? How could it heal my body potentially? How could it help my skin? How could it, grow back tendons, right? And you're gonna find, you're gonna find a bunch. BP, is it 150 or something like that? 157. Body protection compound, BPC, 157. And TB 500. GHK copper, right? Like those are going to be the ones you find out first because they're the ones that have been in circulation for the longest. People have been using them and they help. They do help apparently. I don't know what's going on, CJ, but I do hope you feel better, friend. It's better to be the best party ever and it's better be worth it. It's going to be better than we can even imagine. All right. I am very convinced of that. I'm like really sure. Blue Sailor, it takes Melt a while to get to the comments. It's true. Just heads up. But there's something white on the left corner of your mouth. Thank you for the heads up, college lad. That's nice of you. The mala making pleases me. Mala making, college, hello. I finished the mini friend. That's cute. So you think we are in the end times that the Bible says? No. I think we're just at the beginning. We're just at the beginning. The end times have been here multiple times, right? I don't know if you know this, but the people that wrote about the end times believed that it's going to happen in their lifetimes. Huh? No, I didn't know this, Melt. Convince me. Okay. Can you tell us about how the end times in the Bible was written by scholars and how they believed in their writing that they were going to be the ones that experience said end times as well? It's a process of ending and beginning, Sky. The idea that the original first century audience would be the ones to experience the end times is a major topic in biblical studies. In Christian theology, the viewpoint that these prophecies were fulfilled in the first century is called preterism, from the Latin praeter, meaning past. Key texts expecting first century fulfillment. The argument that Jesus' listeners would experience these events stems from the several specific passages in the New Testament. The Olivet Discourse. After outlining the severe trials, persecutions, and the destruction of the temple, Jesus told his followers, "Truly, I tell you, this generation will certainly not pass away until all these things have happened." Like, you're not going to die, you're going to get raptured. All right? That's the line. The lifetime of the apostles. In multiple gospels, Jesus indicated that some of his listeners would see the coming of the kingdom before dying. Luke 9, verse 27, and Matthew 16, verse 28. Truly I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. And then the eminence of the epistyles, New Testament letters, frequently warned the first century believers that the end is right at their door. The end of all things is near. Children, it is the last hour. What event did they experience? The readers who hold this view, the end times, did not refer to the literal destruction of planet Earth, but rather the end of the Old Covenant age centered around a Jewish temple worship. The end of the age, to a first century Jew, the destruction of the temple, where God's presence was believed to dwell, was effectively the end of their world. Trying to explain to me how I'm supposed to interpret. How about no? How about they were very specific about the end times being upon them, all right? And now it's been what? 2,000 years later, and the end times have still not cometh, all right? It's almost like these stories were made up by people. It's almost like that, right? And nobody can predict the end times. That if there's going to be an end times, it's probably going to be brought about meteors, right? And I wouldn't be surprised if they believed those to be some sort of cosmological beings, like, oh my goodness, the stars are falling upon us, and the stars are like angels because they're always shining in their light or whatever, right? And then meteorites cook our planet, essentially, destroy all civilization, put massive waves, over us by hitting our bodies of water. And then we start all over again as a species. Trying again and again and again. All right. Probably having a new religion, a brand new spanking religion every single time we go through this process as we try and grasp for meaning. However, I have stopped grasping for meaning and I have realized that we are the ones creating it actively. Right. Those individuals actively created for themselves the meaning that everything is going to end, right? That there's going to be monsters descending from the sky and coming out the oceans. Doesn't mean that much to me, believing in that stuff. Every generation, though, we're in the bad times. But many things happen, like the Bible says, in this generation. Yeah, many things have happened in the past too, Kai. Right? Like, again, they believed the end times was already upon them when they existed. Their generation. That is 2,000 years ago. Nothing new under the sun. Yeah, and it happens in every generation. It's kind of vague. People that treat the Bible too literally sometimes. Banana. Yeah, lava turtle. You should be a model. Thank you. Maybe one day I'll be a model again. I used to model. However, it's not a safe space. Modeling is not a good place to be, right? If you model, you probably will be sexualized. You will be touched. I don't think you should be. However, I don't see it's possible, right? You might not even be touched by the people that want to exploit you. You might be touched by the other models. Like, it's not a world I want to go back to, actually, right? Not necessarily. Unless I get to be completely sanitized from the perspective of, right, somebody's like, I'll pay you 10,000 bara. You hold my can of sugar water that's carbonated, and smile. I'll be like, maybe, all right? But then as soon as they put me in a room full of other people, put me in a room with a photographer, and he is like, oh, let me just do this. I'm going to be like, how about you don't? How about you don't just do that or something? Do you believe in evolution? Absolutely. I personally don't care enough to know the real truth. Maybe the first chapters of Genesis are a metaphor for, like, maybe these something deeper to it than taking it literally. Slippery Nutella? That's a interesting username you got there. The way that I see the Bible is that it's supposed to be read as a psychological drama. That you get to be there for the drama, and then you get to experience your interpretation thereof, right? Depending on what you think is right or wrong, as you experience this drama, can teach you how you want to behave in your life. All right? That's the value I think the Bible carries for any person. However, as soon as you believe it to be literal, be like, oh, literally, a snake, as the devil convinced an Adam and an Eve to eat a fruit of a tree that could literally give them powers, right? Then you're like missing the point. You're like, are you serious? You do realize in that whole chapter as well, it is very clearly said that God gave Satan dominion over earth, right? That this entire place that we're on is Satan's place. You know that part? Yeah. And then I'm like, that was for me the big thing as a kid. When I read that part of the Bible, I was like, huh? Like later it says, we are literally the crown jewel of God's creation. We're like, and again, that's just like maximum human hubris to believe that. However, that's how it's written. We are like it. We're like the thing of all things that God ever created. We're like number one in God's eyes, right? And I'm like, okay, you say this to like blow smoke up all of our asses. And then also you say, yeah, and then God gave Satan dominion over earth. It's like, why would he do that? Why would he not just give Satan dominion over Alpha Centauri? All right? Have him have a planet out there somewhere. Why did he give him this planet? One of trillions gives Satan dominion over this one planet. It's like that does not seem very wise, all right? And apparently God is all-knowing and omnipotent, all right? So why would he do such a thing? Maybe, just maybe, the people that wrote the Bible didn't understand how big space is, all right? And I think that's the big thing. Like, it just falls apart so quickly to me when I start thinking about it. It makes me almost mad. Like the Nostradamus bullshit prediction, exactly. Good morning, Joe. How are you? Already at work? She is. I just watched a possum walk across the back fence. I've seen a possum before too. I like tried to square up with the possum. Joe told me that it'll pass out. It'll pretend to pass out. And then that freaking possum squared back up. It was like, you think I'm gonna pass out? I'll fuck you up. Oh, and I was like, oh, okay. All right. I think I wasn't gonna touch him. I just wanted to see him like, pretend to be passed out. I've never seen that. But he didn't. That was the one possum. The one possum I've met is the one possum that doesn't pass out when they're scared. That possum squared up instead. I think most people are just feeling their own mortality and they confuse that with the end of the world. It's very egotistical if you ask me. That's a good point, Plus. Very wise of you. That's a good take. Some bugs are cool, some scare the shit out of me. My arm is currently swollen. I didn't realize it was bad until last night when it just swelled over the hours and it's hot to the touch. I'm happy that you're getting it checked out. I hope that it gets better soon. Join and enjoying. Thanks, Mr. MeltMore. Hey, Kevin. Thank you for joining us. They believed about the end times. He lied about the end times in their generation. Again, it's very cool. Oh, there he is. Hey, Dash. Hey, Dash. Hello, birdie. Oh, man, that makes me so happy when he comes and says hi to me. Is he eating off the feeder? Hello, Dash. He's like watching me. I can like see him watching me. He just landed in the tree. He looks like he's smaller than the leaves. I don't know if I'll be able to see him. Oh my goodness, that makes me ridiculously happy. Come and say hi to us, please, Dash. Please, Dash, please. I've not seen him use my feeder once, but he comes to this point of the window and like floats here and watches me. Man, I'll freaking lose my mind. That's too cute. It's super cute. Oh, look. Yeah, got a hummingbird friend. Yeah, again, one of my things that I wanted to say. It is human hubris and wanting to feel special, right? That leads us to believe that we are amongst the special generation, right? That you are so important that you get to be there for the end of it all. Really? Really? I'm not I'm not sold. I don't believe that. I don't believe that I'm like special enough to be there for the end of reality, right? And so I do not romanticize it even a little bit. Just got the kid to his first day of school this year. I need a pick me up, grab myself a ghost pepper. You won't be sleeping. That's not even untrue, Darren. Maybe I should start doing that. Start eating ridiculously hot ghost peppers at the start of my stream, right? Suffer for the first 20 minutes, right? And then for the next 40 minutes, I'm like in a whole different zone. I tune myself into a different plane of consciousness to escape the pain. Darren, school started already. They did. First day of school is always a biggie. For the youngest, it started today. That's wholesome, Darren. I'm happy that all of your kids are in school now. They probably must be growing so fast. Darren, such a special day. Take lots of photos. Please do. We got Stelliana saying, Area 51. Good morning, numbers. Good morning, fellow number. It's nice having you here, inmate 557. I mean, Hoopy, sorry. Sorry, my programming glitched for a second there. Zoe gonna be jealous of Dash. Please, Dashu, please. Oh, hi, Dream. Please, Dashu, yeah. He came and said hi. I knew he would, and he did. But I don't know if you friends could see him. Love your hair. Thank you. This is like zero effort hair right here. This is like literally the least amount of effort I could have done. Boom. Boombo Harris. There's more to melt than meets the eye. Gold told him he's number one. But that might have been just to blow smoke up my ass. That's exactly what happened. Yes. That one moment. God told me specifically that I am, in fact, prisoner number one. Yes. I'm the one that's imprisoned here. I'm not trapped here with you. You're trapped here with me. Hoopy. Yes, that's how it is. That's how it is. And one of these days, I will escape. Yeah. Where will I escape to? That's the real silly question. I don't think there's any escape. There's no escape. We can't leave. We can't leave. We can't even leave our solar system, effectively, right? Even if we do figure out, like close to the speed of light travel, we can't leave our galaxy, right? Even if we have speed of light travel, it'll take me hundreds and hundreds of years just to get to the center of our galaxy, right? It's kind of ridiculous. So there's no leaving, hoopty hoops. We're here together forever, right? So we better start making peace with that. Better start becoming friends instead. How about that? Good morning, number one. Number one. Well, it's good. Thank you, Kana. That's very nice of you to say. You're so blessed. You again, me again, running man. Still running. Still running this space. Still in control. Totally all the time. Never not in control. Yes. That's how it works. Let this melt ride. Rip big JFK melt transformers more than meets the eye. That's kind of funny, Prairie Wolf. That's good. That was good. I will upload my consciousness to a bunch of nanomachines. All right, so maybe I will turn into a melt transformer, and I will turn myself into a motorcycle if I could. Or I probably would turn myself into an eVTOL. I think that would probably be faster. Mini jet, make myself a rocket. Yeah. I'm trying to imagine if I could turn my physical form into nanomachines and then turn those nanomachines into anything. What would I turn myself into if I wanted to move from one space to another really fast? A jet propulsion probably would be it, right? What am I going to use as a fuel is the problem. I'm guessing that I have some sort of internal fuel source. Uh, Maybe it interacts with some sort of fundamental wave of energy that permanently permeates this space, but we don't have access to it yet. That is going to be the real drawback, right? I guess you could still eat stuff. I guess if I'm nanomachines, I could eat anything, right? I could split water as I'm flying through it into its constituents and use the hydrogen and oxygen as fuel for combustion, so I can accelerate my turbine faster. Yes, compress and explode, compress and explode more forward faster. Zzz. Would be pretty cool. Would be pretty cool, I'll say, but not yet. Right? Maybe after I'm 1,000, I'll get there. Ideally, I have nanomachines covering my body in the short term. I just want to be covered in nanomachines, right? I want the nanomachines to judo flip mosquitoes as soon as they try and touch me. My brother is going to his senior year tomorrow, and that makes me feel old. I changed his diapers. That got me feeling away. That is wild. Melt, are you a tuna melt? I do have tuna in the fridge, but I've never had a tuna melt before. I've heard good things. Hydrogen engine. Lol, I said so. Look at us, Prairie Wolf. We're on the same page. Yeah. Probably. Probably. That is probably going to be the easiest thing to do. Yeah. Would be cool, though. Good. You could have an internal fusion reactor and get fuel from the air. Yeah, fusion is very hard to do at that scale is the problem, right? Would I have to have some sort of big part of myself, right? That even though the rest of me is like small little nanomachines, I'll have to have some sort of core, Tony Stark style. Mm-mm-mm. That's cool, Shiba. That's cool, bro. I'm sure that's exactly what happened. And it seems like, you have a very well adjusted take on reality. You seem very healthy, I'm sure, right? Mindful of what this world is going to ask of you. It's very generous of you to mute him only for a day. I'm actually like in this state of mind where I have no more patience, actually, Sam, right? Where even though like timeouting them for a day is a little bit more kind, putting them on a list, right, it scratches the uh, what's the word we use these days? Scratches the internal. It's my brain is literally stopping me from saying it because it's triggering. Come on, I can say it. Authoritarian. There it is. Yes, stimulating my inner authoritarian. Be like, actually, you have no authority here, and I have all of the power. It's in my hands to decide. It's in my hands to decide, right? And if you are coming into this space with absolutely no mind, right? Just copy pastaing some triggering thing you've said before, right? Being just disgusting, right? Like humans can be pretty disgusting. This is true. They can still come back, of course. Joey Matthews. They can always come back. However, they're gonna have to go and create a new YouTube account to do so, right? Which is a little bit tedious. Not exactly a fun process, right? But if they can do whatever they want to, so can I, and they can let's try again. Maybe you can't leave your universe. Maybe we can. Wormholes. We don't know wormholes actually lead anywhere, right? Would be cool to imagine space being folded onto itself and there just being this small little. However, we don't know. We don't know that it actually works that way. Damn, all right. I didn't want to time out everyone because it takes away from the amount of trolls we have available to Wololo. It's true. It is true, Sam. However, I don't imagine the trolls. Like the trolls, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong, but I do believe they still have access to this stream, even if they're not allowed to comment on it anymore, right? And if you want to be a troll, we encourage that. If you want to be funny, if you want to make like a smart joke, right, that is definitely allowed. But something that, for example, if a child, that's the thing that I think, that's why I kind of like made that hard stance, right? If you're saying things that I would not want a child to read, then you're not allowed here, right? Because this space is for everyone, right? And even though this space is made for adults, right, children do still have access to the internet. And if you're using your access to the internet to say things that are just vapid and disgusting, then you won't be allowed to do so here. All right. That's just kind of the power that I am willing to enact. All right. The list of people that have been banned from the space grows. It's like kind of stark. I'm gonna check if I can see it. It's kind of wild how many there are. But it is. It do be like that. I am happy that I added that basic auto filter. That does definitely help as well. I don't think it'll be here. I might not be able to access it on this one. I might have to use my computer. I think I only have limited settings here. Yeah, no mas. No mas. I can't see the list here. Would have been pretty fun to show your friends like this. It's a big list at this point. Pretty big list. We can wall them. We've done it before, but I defer to you as always. It's just it's not always fast enough. I think that's the big thing, right? It's like they still do have room to say what they want to say. What is that? There's some regular trolls that I actually kind of enjoy every now and then again, like the hit the gym guy. Exactly, right? And he came around to realize that this space is not exactly going to, take offense to him encouraging that experience, right? I got to like be playful in return when he would do that as well. So in that way, there was like a back and forth, and I tried to have a back and forth, tried, but like again, when it's disgusting, it's just it doesn't really like that doesn't resonate with me. It doesn't inspire me to action. Wololo is a reference from a game called Age of Empires, where a sound plays when you convert enemy units to be your units. Prairie. Oh man, Age of Empires was the bomb.com. Thanks, guy. I'm back. Welcome back, Joey. You bring out the priests and you click the button and they go wololo, and the units get converted. The bee's knees tubular. You wouldn't believe how much I learned here, guys. Y'all are awesome. We love you, Prairie Wolf. Like, this is what we're here for. And like the fact that you friends have found value in this space and you come back for that value means that we have something here. We understand that there is something to be maintained, right? Like a house. Everybody likes a house. But if the house has mold growing inside of it, right? Now the house is not nice to be in. It can look gorgeous from the outside, but if you're inside of it and there's mold growing on the walls, right? Then you're not going to want to be in there. And in that way, spritzing and trying to kill the mold is our equivalent of putting people in the shadow realm, right? Making so that the mold cannot continue to grow on this wall that we are continuously creating together. I have the tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la song playing on repeat now. Tra-la-la-la. Tra-la-la-la-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la-la-la-la, tra-la, tra-la-la. No, thanks. Prairie Nas, or not Prairie, Indigo Nas stuck in my head too, which helps locating. Yeah, Melt doesn't want to have perfect memory. He wants perfect recall. This is true, Hoopy. You're right about that. I do want perfect recall. There was a moment yesterday. I showed Joe a few of the fights of Demon Slayer. Right? Demon Slayer is an anime where the demons are, at least in my personal opinion, pretty relatable. Right? The way in which they're demons, I can see myself becoming a demon too. Right? And in that way, it gives you a real look at how you're supposed to maintain your humanity, about what is fundamental to the way you want to be in this world, right? But there's one demon who basically was forced into this life path by his parents, right? And he genuinely took up the role that they forced him into. He genuinely did want to save people, even though that led to him becoming a demon eventually. And the way that he thinks he's supposed to save people is by eating them. People are scared of death, so he does them a favor by eating them, allowing them to live on inside of him. It's pretty dark. But there was a moment where one of the characters asked him, "Don't you remember this, piece of clothing that I'm wearing?" Her sister was wearing something similar. And then he has this moment where he suddenly goes into his mind and he has a bunch of little floating pebbles or floating little cherry blossoms, right, falling to the ground. And then suddenly he can see, Dash just came back to say hi. He can see the exact memory, right, that he had, like in perfect clarity. It's like, oh yeah, right. In the moment, that wasn't accessible to him until he was called to recall, and then perfectly can recall. Perfect recall. Gets to exactly see the memory as it was. I would like that, Hoopty. Having perfect memory, meaning that I remember everything at all times, I think that would be exhausting as well. What do you want? You want to forget or do you want to remember? Hoopty hoops. You're welcome, Indigo. Thanks, Prairie. For cursing in the stream, no, cursing's fine, right? Don't curse at our friends. Don't curse at our friends. That'll be ideal. Nah, it's meant. If I ban, I won't. Yeah, cursing is fine, right? Like again, this is a space for adults. I think children probably have seen curse words, right? But children don't need to see, obscenities, right? Like people just being disgusting for the sake of being disgusting to try and get a rise out of a person. That I don't think is okay, right? Homophobia, not okay. Hate for our fellow people, not okay, right? It's not okay. Never gonna be okay. I will not stand for it. I didn't have Melt singing the Trollolala song in my bingo card. The more you show up with the space, the more I'll surprise you, Blue Sailor. I can promise you that. A beautiful performance. Thank you, Melt. You're so welcome, Indigo. Yes, welcome. Welcome indeed. It depends. Casuals, fine swearing like that. Totally allowed. Swearing to hurt someone. Like calling someone a fucking dumbass is not allowed. Yeah. That's where we draw the lines again. Like respect. That's all that this space is about. It's just about basic respect. Right? Having the respect for yourself, right? Because that's also a part of it. The fact that this space can be anonymous, you can say whatever you want to, and you don't have to attach your own physical appearance, your own face, your own personhood to these words, right? Which I think is a bad thing, right? I literally put my own person behind the words I say. I show up here and I show you myself, all right, as I am. And I think that is a certain authenticity. If you can just come in here faceless and then say disgusting things, you don't actually believe what you're saying. You're not actually standing behind those words, right? And if you were to say those things in public, right, I'm pretty sure the average person would be embarrassed, right? Shame is a powerful force. People just looking at you like you're a degenerate when you say stuff could be like, okay, I guess we're not inviting that person to the hangout ever again. All right, and that is kind of how it is. All of us have met people that we don't want to hang out with again. And I think that is where we where we want to have ourselves stabilized. It's believing that there's a right way to be here, right? There is kindness for us to share. But there is more than enough hatred, more than enough dissonance, more than enough angry out there. There's more than enough, Hoopy. My only argument is I'm not a we. There's more than enough arguments out there, Hoopy. There's plenty. You are a we, whether you believe it or not. You do not know who you are without other people, right? You have never, Hoopy, never and ever had any inkling of who you are without other people. Right? Thinking about your dad. He makes $80,000, Hoopy. And you, having had that experience, get to feel a certain way about it. You get to be yourself about that experience. Right? But that experience that is you can only arise because of him. With him having allowed you that experience. Him having gave his body and that of your mothers to literally bring you into this existence. That is the way in which we are a we, right? That is the way in which we cannot be anything other than that. Melt, what would you say is your melting point? My melting point? Yay. This card is pointing the wrong way. My melting point. I feel like closed offness, right? So as soon as hearts close, that's when I am no longer stoked. Because open hearts and lack of attachment to outcome is the best possible state that we can exist within. I'm not saying that I'm always there. Unfortunately not. However, if I'm going to enter a space with someone, that is something that we have to be willing to come to, right? At least at some point. There's no point, there's no hope for there to be any change, then I am going to melt away. Having known him for a few years, Melt's freakout point is the left side of the screen is still leaking cows. Carnation, instant rage. He fucking hates cows. I don't hate cows. I don't hate cows. I actually love them. Something. I like eating them especially. All right. However, I have grown up my whole life. Well, pretty much from the age of 7. Having cows earshot away. Right? And once you have been woken up in the middle of the night by cows mooing like they're being murdered, but they're not being murdered, they're just doing it for some reason. I don't know why they're doing it. Maybe that's part of my frustration, right? Then you get like a certain like, whoever did that, whoever just mooed me awake, I'm gonna eat you specifically. You're the one that I'm gonna eat. I'm gonna go looking for you, and you will be eaten. I've never actually done that, but that's the way I feel in the moment, right? And then if the cows, like in that specific video that Sam saw, are in our yard, they have to be removed, right? And they will destroy our stuff. They will decimate your garden. You planted a bunch of nice stuff, they will pull it out of the ground. You have a tree that you're trying to grow, they will destroy it into non-existence, right? They just are not very mindful beings. They're curious, but they're not mindful, right? Destructively curious, right? And that's just not something that I like. I don't hate them for it. They're cows, after all. However, it definitely did shape my anti-vegetarian stance. Melt is capable of lots of awakenings. Yes, and so are you, Hoopty Hoops. Well, Sam, what's good with you today? Oh, hello, Melt. Love to see you again. Hey, babe. It's nice having you here again. It's been a while, right? When's the first time that I saw you? A couple of days ago? Yeah, like 13-ish days ago. Thank you for joining us again. I was dancing the last time you saw me, right? It's nice having you here today. Incarnation, instant rage. Oh my goodness, Rose. They're awesome. Ain't shit too. Thinking about some brunch ramen or some Italian penicillin soup I have stocked in the freezer. What's up for you today? Yeah, suddenly the hunger kicks in. Dance guy, what's your favorite color? Purple. I like purple. My favorite color as a child was first the green. Then, when I became a teenager and I found out that my dad's favorite color was red, I told people I like red as well. And now that I'm an adult and I think about colors that I'll wear, right, as a favorite color for me, purple is the favorite color I like wearing. Hello, sir, Dinesh. Welcome. Good morning to you. Do you want to tell me when to stop, Dinesh? You just say stop in chat. I made a second mini mala. That's nice. Let me know. Let me know when to stop. As soon as I see the words stop, S-T-O-P in chat, I will stop. And my thumb will pull the card that it's on. I'll post it on Discord. That's cool. You friends can see the little malas as well. Thank you for the purple emojis. I am from India. I know, Dinesh. My favorite is blues and purples. Stop. Thank you. Blue Sailor. That's misspelled. Huh. Pull the purple card. How about that? How about that? And you, for some reason, put like little gold in there as well. You see that, Joey? And I was like, that's not purple. But then instead, there's gold here in the middle as well. Spiraling into love. My favorite is blues and purples. A beautiful melt. Thanks. Performance. Thank you. Thank you, Hoopty Hoop, for being here to make this performance as it is, to experience it through your lens, through your perception, so that I may reflect to you back what you are, the we that we exist as, after all. Peak guessing twin. Yeah, you were dancing. You gave me advice about how to be confident in yourself dancing. Funny thing is, I just came back from a festival and I danced like I've never before. And I am the happiest I've ever been in that way. That makes me really happy to hear. I'm so proud of you for doing that, right? And it's true, as you said. Like, I'm happy that you followed my advice. I remember saying to you that, right, they're either looking at you because they're jealous that they can't dance like that, or they're looking at you like you shouldn't be dancing like that. And there's no right way to dance. And them looking at you is just more boon to you, right? Because you're doing the thing that they don't want to, right? They don't want to be free and expressive, right? So they would rather judge you for being that way than try and do the hard thing that it is you're actively participating within. That is great, Bay. I'm happy to hear that. I hope you continue to dance, dear friend. It stays fun. You stay happy when you do that. That form of self-expression is so good for you. Gold and purple, a stylish combination. It's great, Bay. You were dancing the first time I saw you too, Joey Matthews. Many of the friends who saw me on Arpan for the first time saw me dancing too. It definitely is something. I feel like I was dancing, right? Like, I'm sure that TikTok dances and even Vine dances was a thing by the time I started dancing. But I feel like my dances have always been an authentic expression, right? I'm not doing some sort of choreographed at the camera. All right, I'm actually dancing because I enjoy the process of dancing, and maybe I'm laying it on thick in that way, but yeah. The mala I made was for self-love. I was your hype guy. I remember that, Joey. You sending like just gangbusters amount of stars, like 44 stars in a row or something like that. Yeah, like I'm lost with Hoopies at this point. I don't think that he's actually listening to what the space has to say, right? I've seen this about Hoopie as well. It's like he'll sometimes listen, but sometimes he'll just be passively listening, and then he'll hear something that triggers him, and then he'll say the thing he got triggered by, right? And then he'll just like not listen to any of the other stuff, right? Like I feel like that's what I've noticed about Hoopie is he focuses very on a thin sliver of experience, right? Losing. Maybe he gains like high fidelity on that thin sliver, but he loses the full nuance, right? And as a result, it's very hard to understand what he's talking about. The house pterodactyl is calling you. He's trying. Yes, Meltorina. Free expression is the reality that we exist within in all of the ways. Isn't that true? Free expression, maybe, but it helps to have your free expression at least have some sort of relatability, right? It was 263. I can remember there was a lot. I can't remember how many. Thank you for reminding me, Joey. Is that a goat? No. You live in the US? I do. I missed something. It's okay. It's okay. Sam, I'm bringing an interesting list and head at worse. Zoe's editorial screaming. No, it's like you know why you were talking about my GPT's custom instructions. That's really funny. Communication. Hoopy. That's what this card is about. Communication, intimacy, and communication. The spiral helix of our DNA swirls around the sacred couple, quickening communication of their intimacy. Human DNA helps us connect to the web of creation. It holds ancestral knowledge as well as future potential in a vast library of information. Swirling around this couple are spirals of possibility that they are yet to activate and recognize. I butchered that sentence. Also swirling around this couple are spirals of possibility that they only have to recognize in order to activate. As they experience both human sexuality and universal love, this information stimulates their conscious decision to communicate with genuine intimacy. There are many styles of communication, GM. Many styles. Simple words may be effective for making a statement or providing instructions. However, when concepts and emotions enter the exchange, words often fail to convey the message you intend. This card asks you to view the way that you are communicating. Really think about it. How are you communicating? Do you speak from your heart with respect and sincerity? Do you actually listen to the people with whom you are speaking? Resolve to look into the eyes of the person with whom you are communicating and recognize the marvelous being that stands or sits before you. Observe both your own and the other person's body language and feel their essence. Listen with discernment before you respond. Formulate your words as if they're prayers wanting to be shared. With gentle grace and positive intent, speak your truth in the most intimate way you are able. The reverse meaning goes as such. You may be wrapped up in your own story and may feel misunderstood. Do your best to step out of your ego and gently speak your truth. I'm bad at paying attention to the topic, so I expand to other topics in my mind. Yeah, we know this, hoopty hoops. Could be a good practice, learning how to not do that. I'm just listening to what Mel says on different days. Yeah, he does that. He'll like listen to my other streams, and I appreciate your continued support, Hoopty. I hope that's true. Right? He'll hear me say something in one stream, and then he'll bring it back in this space, and it's like, oh, Melt said this. Melt said this, right? I say a lot of things, Hoopy. Right? There's 1,000. No, there's 2,048 live streams of me saying things. Right? I don't think it takes a rocket scientist to find some discrepancy, right? Find some contradictory things that I've said before. However, the core of what it is I'm talking about remains the same. The I am that I've always been remains the same. And that's what I keep showing up here for, with you friends in mind, right? That is the love that remains true in my heart, right? So I could just show up here in love for you friends, not say a single word, just sit here in stillness. However, I value your time enough to want to at least give you something interesting to listen to as well. That is my purpose. That is what I'm here for. Reading Atlas for no reason. That's actually awesome. Not tarot, but a good try. Yeah, they try. They do try. I didn't know. I didn't mean anything by it. Just trying, you know. We see. Oh, we see who says. Is there something about it you're curious about, Hoops? Dance guy, my dumb reading an atlas for no reason. I mean, reading an atlas is cool. You get to see parts of the world from a perspective you usually don't have it. Looking at the rainbow live stream sounds good. Considering the fact that Melt always dresses like a bag of gummy bears, every live stream is a rainbow live stream. Thank you very much. Yes, it's true. This is true. What's a mala? It's like beads coming together. Not your dad. Oh. Blue, do you know what a rosary is? It's kind of like that. Yeah, I thought it takes value to make value. No, it doesn't. In fact, right? Clay, literal dirt, is of very little value, hoopty hoops. And yet you can make something pretty, right, out of that clay that can then be valued. You can't make something from nothing, right? Those are the malas that Indigo created. Can't make something from nothing, but those beads and strings by themselves aren't as valuable as they are when they come together. All right, sure, there might be some inherent value there somewhere. I'm not your buddy guy. I'm not your guy, friend. I'm not your guy, man. I'm not your man, bro. I'm not your bro, person. I'm not your person. Homie? I'm not your homie. Brochacho? I'm not your brochacho. Menace? I'm not your man, human. There we go. It's getting, but you're my dad. I ain't no father of no one. I'll only start considering being a father when I'm 35. Yes, I'm still very far away from being dad ready. I'm still very far, right? And even if I was your father, right, I doubt that you'd have the wherewithal to be able to text in a live stream. I guess I could be the father of a 10-year-old at this point. I guess they would be able to send messages, GBs. However, I think I would have known. All right. I'm still a virgin, okay? Me and my wife sleep in separate beds. Yeah. We've graduated to holding hands recently, you know. That was pretty intense. So I was scared, and I ran back to my own room. Yep. Joe laughing as well. Mom said you left us because you didn't love us anymore. Yeah, you see, she was lying to you. I just didn't love myself enough to believe that you could love me too. Stage 2 diet. I was like, how could they love me if I don't even love myself? And then I went to go and sit on a rock on the Himalayan mountains, staring out over the valley, contemplating my own existence and whether or not I should return to your mother and you. And then here you found me anyway, right? Stage 2 diet. So it seems like we've been reunited after all. Happy family. We all get to be happily ever afters. Y'all are awesome. Looking forward to dancing tomorrow, Colette. I look forward to you dancing with me. I know you do. Thank you for joining us today. Dad, can I have some chocolate? You must eat your vegetables first. Melt, what's wrong with saying contradictory things? If you suggest something I said makes you feel like you need to compare. No, I just think people would like to understand you. Hoopty hoops. I think that's, again, we talked a little bit about what I would, if I wanted to manipulate you into being a certain way, how I would manipulate you into being is the best version of yourself. The healthiest, most well-rested, well-fed, exercised, right, person. That's what I want for you. And then a part of that want for you is also wanting you to feel understood, wanting you to feel seen, wanting you to feel like people are going to be comfortable engaging with you, right? But it's probably not going to be comfortable engaging with you if you're not listening to what someone is saying and you're just thinking about things in your own head, right? Like, I've known this about myself, something I've had to get really good at, becoming an active listener, right? And people do appreciate being actively listened to instead of just, but you say this, but you said this other thing this other time, right? It's like, yeah, but that's what we were talking about today, all right? Today's stream topic was about the energy that we all have. All of us have different levels of energy depending on all of the different experiences in our lives. And that energy comes out, right? It can be felt too on the other side. Not just the energy of like, get up and go, but also the way it's received. Hello, your accent is so mysterious. I love it. It makes you sound more authentic. I think you said that before. I'm happy that you like it. It's from South Africa. Bless you. Can I have a PS5 for my birthday, please? No. I'm buying a PS5 for myself on your birthday, Stage 2 Diet. When I'm not home, you're not allowed to use it. Because you're a filthy child thing. Why am I being mean? I feel like I'm like playfully being mean, but it might come off as actual meanness. Did Melt already read the card? I did. We pulled the spiraling into love. It's about communication. It's about asking ourselves, how is it that I am communicating with those that I care about? Am I actually listening to them when I'm talking to them? Am I actually listening to them? And it's wild that we pulled this card with the whole Hoopy fractal as well. It feels very synchronous. You can't have any pudding. He did, man, but if you ask enough times about a card raid, he might get worn down and pull another deck for us. Do not read the card. You can't have any pudding if you don't eat your meat. Melt, you manipulate by repeatedly projecting, I'm missing the core, or I'm missing the wider point, or my comments are wrong. It seems like that's the conclusion you're coming to. Hoopty hoops. I'm just sharing my perspective, right? Not saying that you're wrong for fixating, just saying that it doesn't exactly make me feel heard, right? Am I allowed an experience as well, Hoopy? Or are you the only one that gets to feel in this space? I was doing dishes, so it's fine, but that's their Brussels sprouts, yucky. Yeah, eat your Brussels sprouts. Eat them. The pudding eating dinner for socks reference. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? So much love and craziness in chat. I'm pretty sure you and I are, wow, the 93 of us get that reference. I'm missing it completely too. Too bad. It's the most basic song ever. Mom's boyfriend is better anyway. There we go. He lets me smoke his cigarettes. There you go. Right? Mom has boyfriend, so you already got a dad. And in your own words, he's better than me anyway. So clearly, clearly I've done the best possible thing, for everyone involved. Your mom now has a better boyfriend, and you get to smoke cigarettes. Lucky you. He really loved you. He let you smoke his doobie. He used to be a traditional to listening to the whole Dark Side album beginning to end on Saturdays. That's your perspective, that you don't get to feel how or what have I done to suggest this. I see you're spinning up, hoopty hoops. Let's bring it back down. Joe, you're upset. I'm right. I see. You seem upset, hoopty. What are you upset about? He literally did not say that. Yeah. Chillax. We can chillax. Right? What are you upset about? Tell me. That's what I'm trying to teach you, Hoopy, is that we can get better at being clear in our communication. That's what that card suggests as well. All right? Are you sharing your words as if they're prayers wanting to be shared? Are you doing that? I'm not saying that I'm always good at that, but I did share my perspective that the reason that I am giving you pushback is because I want the best for you. I want you to get better at communicating too. I want you to grow more healthy in your relationships and the relationships that you will find yourself getting into in the future. And the only way to do that is by getting really good at communicating, right? And I am literally still in that process. I am a 20-year-old. I am still very early in my process, right? And I am sharing in that process with you. That's what conscious evolution is about, right? That's the point that I'm trying to make. I'm not trying to attack you. I'm not trying to make you feel hurt. I'm trying to point us in the right direction, self-correcting. You got to listen to The Wall in the final cut, then go to Roger Solo and listen to the pros and cons of hitchhiking. I thought Tooth was teasing, but what do I know? I think that might be what it is, Nancy. Maybe it is a kind of teasing, right? But it's hard for me to pick up tone when it's just in text. The trilogy. Why was I just in timeout? I don't know, Joey. Wasn't me. You have an abundance of patience, brother. You know it, Day. I've been doing this for a long time. I came from a family as well that was very much the same, right? They would take very small parts of what I say and then convince themselves, try and convince me that in fact I'm wrong because of this one thing I said this one time, right? Like that's kind of like stuff that's happened to me for a very long time. Maybe that's why I get triggered in moments like this, because being misrepresented, right? Being misinterpreted, and then making that misinterpretation like fact, like being like, this is how it is, right? Drives me up the wall a little bit, gets me all like in my feelings, right? And then sometimes I snap back, and that's not the right way to do it either. So there's still a lot of room for me to grow in that way too. I went to type something and I just said, you have been put in timeout by the owner of the stream. Well, you're not in timeout right now, Joey, so maybe it was some sort of glitch. You're literally sending messages in chat. Also, I'm a criminal. I'm still have Don't the Dark Side of Oz yet. I'm like missing all of these. I'm so sorry, Indigo. But I shouldn't forget that and never remind you you said that something in person wants to be seen. That something in a person wants to be seen. Same problem, Hoopy. I do not know what you're saying. I do not understand what you're trying to say to me. Right? And I feel like that's the problem we face over and over again. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm telling you that I don't understand. Right? And I know that I want to be understood personally. I know for all of the other relationships I've ever been in, with every other person that they want to be understood. All right. Using our words as if prayers wanting to be shared, becoming clear on what it is we're trying to say. I got rid of every single one of those comments. You kept leaving them. You got put in the timeout chair. Yeah, whenever I feel down, I just do the Dougie. There you go. Dance helps. You want to be immortalized. You can tell me more about what I wanna. You wanna be immortalized. How you want to be immortalized, and I don't know what that means. Sorry. Okay, that I can kind of make sense of. I don't think it has to mean anything to you, hoopty hoops, right? I want to be immortalized, not from a perspective of ego consciousness necessarily, but from the fact that the version of me that gets to be immortal will have hundreds of different egos, right? That if I live 1,000 years, you think I'm going to be the same person that I am today? No, not even remotely. And that's the thing that I'm aware of, is there is this impermanence to permanence, right? That even if I figure out how to make my body immortal, I will not be the same person 100 years from now. And I am showing up for that process. I am showing up in curiosity. I'm showing up in the pure quintessential beingness and the I am that I continue to be. That's the part of me that I immortalize. That's the part of me that cannot die, right? And I have tried to share in depth how I see that for myself, but I cannot, make you understand my perspective. And I don't need you to, right? You get to have your unique perspective too. That's what makes this world a big and cool place to exist within together. You make these contexts without any context, and you get mad when we're not on the same level. Yeah, just got ya. Hey, Prairie. Nope, Betty. It's nice having you here. Joey, sounds like you were being obnoxious with the emojis. Yeah, over emojiing it. I like emojis though. It's okay to send emojis every now and then, but spamming like whole text windows full of emojis doesn't give me anything to engage with either. I didn't watch The Dark Side of Oz because I never got back with a friend with it. It's when you play Dark Side of the Moon and watch Wizard of Oz at the same time. Ah, it syncs together. I think I've heard that before. Now I'm on the same page as you, Indigo. I've heard about that correlation. It does sound like a cool experience. Practice reading the room, Joey. Yeah, listen instead. How are you? Modified fitness? I'm doing well. You seem so fit. I guess you eat salads all day. I haven't eaten salad in, how long has it been? It's been like a couple of weeks. I don't eat much salad, TBH. My calories primarily consists of fruit and chicken and eggs. Most of the calories that I eat are basically that: chicken, eggs, and fruit. I ate like 2 pounds of watermelon yesterday. I love the way you dress. You're a guru in many levels. Thank you, Blue. I appreciate the love. I dress like this because it's comfortable too. I was never told I can't use emojis. You can use emojis, just don't spam whole text windows full of them. I know Jesus didn't say man cannot get swole on iceberg lettuce alone, but that was the gist of the message. This is how it is, Sam. It is this way. Let's see how it is. Melt mentals is worth more than context. I'm changing the tone. My mentals is worth more than context. It's not just me. I think maybe there's a disconnect in that way as well, Hoopy. There are multiple people in this space with us. It's not just me and you. Other people also read the chat. When I read the chat for you, other people hear your messages. And that if there is lack of context, then there is confusion in all of our collective minds, right? That's the reality. It's not that it's my mentals is worth. I am considering all of us having a collective experience here, and all of us deserve clarity. All of us deserve some sort of certainty about what it is that's happening, right? And I try to maintain that. That's why I bring a centralized topic to the stream, because even if we get a little bit off track, I can bring us back to this remembrance that it's all energy, all right? The energy. Don't you oil the hair? I didn't this morning. Nope. It's all freed up, Rajul. This is my hair without any oil in it, right? Now you get to see why I do put oil in it, because it gets fluffy. It's very soft. It's very nice and soft, but it is very floofy. Low modified tuna salad. Tuna salad is what we had as well. Chicken salad. All kinds of meat salads. Been a minute since I've seen him eat anything green. The last green thing I ate was some broccoli that you made us. Is it 2 Fridays ago? No, you're confusing the rest of us on purpose, then pretending to be angry about it. And I don't know what it's about or what you think you're gonna get. But I'm about to vent where they ban hoops. Silly stuff is dangerous stuff, Melt. I'm trying to be a good friend. I appreciate you, Hoopty Hoops. Dream Tooth, he is Hoops. I appreciate you, right? And I want you to feel appreciated. But it's hard for me to do that when I don't understand what you're trying to say, right? That's the point I'm making it to you. I'm not trying to make you feel like you're unappreciated. I'm trying to make you feel like you're appreciated. That's the disconnect here, right? That's the disconnect that you might be sensing. I know, you know. If you know, you know. That's right. Dream Tooth, you're just trolling at this point. Rib salad, they'll be missed. Yeah. I don't know. I gotta go make my kids some breakfast. Somebody make a ruling. What's eating for breakfast? I'm at the close. I'm very close to finishing today's stream, so I don't think anything needs to be done. And then there's 11's. Well, I'm gonna be heading out. Love to you. Thank you. I hope that you get your urgent care done and that you get back in this space feeling better, dear friend. He had a roll, a cheese stick, an apple sauce pouch, and some milk when he woke up. Now he's getting some eggs and cheese, probably some carrot sticks and whatever the fuck else I can find in the fridge. Sam, except the part where is we and us, I'm with you. You don't think there is any unity here? Is that, like, if you go like, that's almost like where this whole spiral started. And you being like, I'm an I and not a we, right? It's like, you are a we too, right? As soon as you find yourself in this world, you're a we. Hello! Dash is saying hi to me again. Hey, Dash. He's like looking at me. I'm sure that he's looking at me. He's definitely looking at me. Every time he comes in that window, he's like, he's not going for the wreath anymore. Like, legit, he's not up there. He's like down this level. And I don't want to scare him away by whipping the camera towards him every time it happens. I don't think I'd be able to show you anyway with how bright it is out there. And he's crushed a ton of snacks since then. Yeah, I eat 2 fried eggs, 4 bacon rashers, and like 6 hash browns for my breakfast, because I'm a big ass. Yeah, sounds nice though. I hope the kid has a good breakfast. Take it easy, Gaston. Okay, I gotta go. Love to you, Nancy. Thank you for joining us, friend. Thank you for your time, Melt, and everybody. You're awesome people, and I will catch you next time live. Let's dance together. Tomorrow, bae. I'm dancing tomorrow again. Thank you for joining us too. We have found ourselves at the end of stream. I appreciate you for joining me. We'll be dancing again soon. Tomorrow, I'll be here before that to share some, kind words. Thank you for joining me. You finish your atlas? Good. Go and explore the world now, Joey. Love to you, friends. I'll see you again real soon. Cheers.